Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Friday. Sam here, United People's TV. We've got the early kickoff tomorrow. That looks a little bit loud. Let me turn that down a little tiny bit. That's probably a little bit nicer. We've got the early kickoff tomorrow. Don't ruin my weekend, please. We're going to be speaking about the Brentford game. Yeah, I'm a little bit late today because I've got a Stream Deck here, which I've got all my shortcuts, everything set up on. For some reason, it's just decided, nah, doesn't fancy working this morning. Sarah complaining down there, come on, Sam, more and more delays. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was having a technical issue for 60 seconds. How dare you, Sam? How absolutely dare you? Anyway, no idea why it's doing that. I'm guessing the restart will fix it, which is what happens. But yeah, no idea why that's for. So if it's not as seamless as a show this morning, it's because I have no shortcuts and I've got to do everything manually. Let's see who's here from the mods and the members gang. Let's say hello, and we're going to run through everything. Didn't even explain what the show was. We're going to speak a little bit more about Cristian Orozco, the 17-year-old. We got an agreed deal for him. Did the video yesterday. Got some comments from like former coaches and people who have played with him. We'll also then have like kind of an in-depth chat on Cunha, on Shesko, on Mbeumo, on those three there. And it is mad. Is it mad? I suppose we've not played that many games. It's just a bit frustrating, really. We've not had a game where all three of them have started together. Could it happen against Brentford? It could. Let's see who's here from the mods. As I said, mods and the member gang. Let's say hello. Good morning to you, Shax. We gifted him 5 memberships. And can I say to everyone about, I've seen somebody yesterday leaving a comment on the live show after the fact. So, what does a gifted membership even mean? Well, the gifted memberships here are like your way of becoming part of the core community, I suppose, on United People's TV. Those that have got green names in the YouTube chat, also you get added into the, if you set it up correctly and you associate your YouTube with your Discord username, you get added into the members only chat. But I promise you, these things are, I've said I'm working on things in the background. I'm working on making these memberships mean a lot more, and they will come the end of this season. And I promise you that will, in the goodness of time, be explained. Just not yet. JC, good morning to you. Nice to see you there, buddy. Josh, Stephanie, Carl, you're there too. Jason, we've got Hector. Who's looking forward to the Ryder Cup this weekend? Hands in the air. Come on, people. 12:10, first tee off time today. I'm watching that. Go on, John Rahm. Ryder Cup's fun. Even if you don't like golf. Do you like Ryder Cup? I think so anyway. Now, let's get on with today's show. And I'm starting off with this because this is if you've not seen anything this week when it comes to what's happening with Graham Potter and West Ham fans, then this will really, really confuse you. Basically, there's been a trend this week where Graham Potter's face is just getting put on everything and everybody, from like Thierry Henry's new celebration in FIFA to Mbeumo's face, or Garnacho's face. It might be one of the best things I've seen on football Twitter in a good long time. West Ham fans are having fun with it. They do not like Graham Potter. They do not like him. And there's just been a lot of good face swaps, photos, and videos. They're all making me laugh. So I had to pull these. Is it Brian Potter? Alejandro Potter? Nah. I'm trying to think of names, man. Graham and Mbeumo. I just thought I'd make you laugh. It's been making me laugh all week. Still not working. Stupid bloody thing. And missing out on golf. I love golf. I like golf. Kind of me in sports. I like sports. I like most sport at elite level. I enjoy watching F1. Although saying that, when it comes to F1, I actually enjoy more the conversation around the race, the build-up, the qualifying, than I do the actual race itself sometimes. Quite a lot of times, actually. Golf, I love at the top level. Watching majors, love that. Tennis, same as that. I kind of watch a little bit less tennis than I used to. But yeah, just sport at the top level. I just love elite competitive sport, really. Manny, this is your starting 11 for later. We'll run through this a little bit later and show. You're saying Lammens, you're saying Yoro, Delict, Mazraoui, Maguire if Maz is out, Ahmad, Bruno, Mainu, Dorgu, Cunha, Shesco, and Mbeumo. United 3-0. Let's hope you're right on that. Is that Brian Potter from Phoenix Nights? Man, I haven't seen Phoenix Nights in ages. Tell you what I'm finally doing again now, rewatching Sopranos. I'm at the end of season 2 last night, watched the finale. Didn't remember all of it. Enjoyed it. Season 3. Let's go. Alex, I've not got FC 26 yet. I do not really have the time to play FIFA. I haven't played FIFA in a long time. I can't even explain to all of you how much I used to play FIFA and Pro Evo. Still play a bit of Pro Evo 6. Still class. Man, I used to play that a lot. Used to love doing Master Leagues. Used to love doing... Me and my mate Dan used to sit... I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I am now. We used to set up Champions Leagues. The Champions League mode only came into FIFA like a few years ago. So what we used to do was manually set up a tournament and put every single team in, set all the groups up, and then play a Champions League of our own making. I was good. I like to think so anyway. AFL, are you saying cricket's your favourite? Yeah. Cricket at the top level. Ashes. Love watching that. Not really. I understand that test cricket is class, but I've never really properly watched one through. I might join in like day 4 or 5. Anyway, someone down there. So I haven't won against Brentford since the Delict injury. What was that? Delict injury. Don't really go there. I'm going down memory lane here. Bit random. Right, let's kick off today's show and let's speak about the news. Got to do it manually. It's really dead annoying. Anyway, Cristian Orozco was the video I did yesterday. And I don't think that the title I used yesterday was overzealous. Like, this really is the exact type of signing I want more of at Manchester United. The exact type of signing. I did a video specifically about how we need to approach the South American market and try and sign talents from them before we sign Diego Leon and now before we sign Cristian Orozco. And it's good to see that United are starting to do this. I suppose the strategy wasn't possible before because we didn't have the right people in place. We didn't have the right, structures, I suppose. But got confirmation from yesterday from The Athletic here as well, kind of basically saying everything that was already said. This is from Mark Ritchie saying United have agreed a deal to sign 17-year-old Colombia youth international Cristian Orozco from Fortaleza. The defensive midfielder is expected to officially move after he turns 18 in July next year, right? And that video yesterday was a little bit of a brief conversation about him. Very, very, very top level in terms of his game because A, he's 17, so you can't really ever look into someone too in-depth at that age. But also haven't watched enough of him, and I can't pretend to you that I've watched enough of him to tell you exactly who he is. I think by the time July next year comes around and he officially joins, we'll do a profile video on him saying, right, okay, this is how Orozco has developed since we signed him. I'll do a video in a few months' time, maybe 2 or 3 months' time. What's happening with Orozco? We'll take a look at his performances, seeing if he's getting any games for Fortaleza. As far as I could see, he hasn't actually been on the bench in the last 4 or 5 games. So this is United doing their job properly with real scouting. Not really a surface level sign, not an obvious signing, if you want to call it that. Somebody who captained Colombia at the Under-17 CONMEBOL Championships as a 16-year-old. But I just want to see more of this. Is that Craig? Good morning to you, Craig. Craig Potts? Or is it Craig Potter? I don't really... Thank you very much, dude. Let me see what else you're saying down here in the chat. New kit away at Brentford. Yeah, we've got the black kit, don't we? Got that bad boy up. Well, not that one. Inspired by that one, but actually that one. Please don't get lost in it. Anyway, I want to run through a couple of quotes here from Sport Witness. They've spoken to somebody who coached him before and also a player who used to work with him too. So I'll go down and just read out what they're saying about him, right? Campo Elios Santa Cruz trained Orozco at Rojo FC, explained how he managed to quickly impress everyone at his former club. I'm presuming that was the club he was at before he moved to Fortaleza. With his character and his playing style, he established himself in the under-15 and under-17 teams. Despite being so young, he always showed leadership in practice. He trained hard, on and off the field, acted like a young man with experience. His teammates helped him grow, and today, we can say he's a great human being. Very nice. He's not a dickhead. That's always a good thing. And down here as well, you've got former Colombia defender Alvaro Escobar, who trained with him with the under-15s, said, look, as positive leadership style that has allowed him to be the captain of the Colombian national team. He expresses himself well and is receptive. Doesn't get upset when corrected. It's a pleasure to coach him. I was very happy when I found out that he could go to United. And that's just a little tiny bit of insight from those who have coached him up until this age. But bear in mind, this is a kid we're talking about. Somebody who's not 18 until July. But somebody who's captained his national team. I said it in the video yesterday. We've already had this conversation, so we don't need to repeat it. In my view, if United could get a hit rate of 1 in 5 on these players, I think we're doing incredible. If Orozco and Canabiek and Diego Leon and Sesko Kone, that's 4. But if one of those players becomes a mainstay in our first team, then you've nailed it. You're doing your job properly. So I'm going to be excited to see what he does. I will follow his progress. And as I said, I'll bring you update videos on him. I'd say we'll do one for around about January time. Thereabouts. One in like 3 months. Then probably one towards the end of the season in May. And then we'll do a profile to come out when he joins in July. I'm going to start doing these videos, I think. I mentioned it yesterday to you guys and girls. Like the idea of, would you like me to do a sort of, I suppose, like a what's happening video with what's really going on with Carlos Baleba this season? You know, what's going on in his performances? What's being said by Fabian Herzler? What's being said by the fans? What's being said by the press? I know from the outside looking in, it just looks like his head's been turned. Is there any more? Is there anything more to that? Should it be something that we're worried about? Because I'll just tell the insight on this. Like the stuff that I really am aiming for, the ambition of this channel, which I think you've all sort of shared that a bit, or you've enjoyed it. Anyway, the direction of the channel is the production videos, the higher quality stuff. But with the plans that I've got coming in May, and also, truth be told, like the daily lunchtime videos, which are also researched, recorded, edited as well, they seem to be resonating better. So it's a case of putting your time and investing your time into the right ways. I know I'm kind of waffling a little bit there, but I'm going to probably have a little bit of a switch focus-wise to doing more. Those little mini docs will be kind of transfer related. So insight and information on Carlos Baleba. Insight and info on Adam Wharton, on Elliot Anderson. Are there any other youngsters, like, for example, Cristian Orozco? Are there players that we should really be keeping our eye on? Are there players that you should kind of know about? Like, for example, Bouadi at Lille is somebody who me and the lads in the team have been speaking about for quite a while. And he's, what, 17, 18 in Lille? I think he's going to be a conversation this summer. And he'll definitely be a player that everybody's speaking about within the next couple of years. So we might do a video on him, sort of explaining why you need to know about him. So yeah, you know what I'd love this series to become? I'd love this series to become, like, for example, we mentioned Seny Lammens as a potential goalkeeping signing back in April, I think it was. I think it was April. Obviously, we went on to sign him. So we're looking at the right players. And these conversations are being had internally by United, by Chris Favell, by the scouting staff, and they're looking at people and players. So why can't we? That's kind of the ambition I've got. I'm making a United People's TV scouting series that keeps you bang up to date with players we're looking at, and maybe players we should be looking at. Someone mentioning Hayden Hackney down there. I think that could be a cool video. I think Borough started the season well, haven't they? Other one over here, which is a bit random, but this is Charlie Hardy, a 16-year-old. That's not Charlie Hardy when he's 16. That's Charlie Hardy, I think, when he joined Derby. So this is a 16-year-old goalkeeper who is going to be joining Manchester United. That's his goodbye message down there to Derby. And I imagine you're going to be getting some form of actually, you probably wouldn't get an announcement for a player that young. I think so anyway. Let me see what you're saying down here. Is Leon an actual wing back? Daz, every time I've watched Leon, I look at him and go, he wants to be a winger, but he's going to have to learn how to be a wing-back. I think that's probably what it's going to take him so long. A bit like, I'm not really, I suppose not really the same, but Harry and Mass, whenever you watched Harry and Mass, like technically very, very good with the ball, great going forward, but he had to learn a bit more about positional discipline. Diego Leon is way more excited going forward than Harry and Mass was. Like, he always wants to be going forward. That's where his energy is. He puts in the up balls. And now he's got to lunge. Now he's got to come up. Well, not come up. Get back into position. I think here Diego Leon will need a full year with the academy teams before, I imagine, a loan next season. And then we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, Alex, you can call it a Scout and Gem series. I don't really want to call it a Scout and Gem series, but we're gonna pick individuals and like high quality 17, 18-year-olds who are across Europe's maybe top 5, top 6 leagues that we really think will be conversations in the next year or two, and players that we probably should be looking at. And you're saying, does the club need to ease up on the Prem proven wish when searching for a ready mid in January? I think, I personally feel that this is going to be a strategy. Like, I think what you're seeing is United's strategy moving forward, and I really don't disagree with it, man. Like, on the one hand, I've already explained this yesterday, but I can explain it again quickly. On the one hand, you're going to be going for up-and-coming, great youngsters from around the world, but they're youngsters. So they're probably going to need a couple of years to develop inside your system, get used to the United environment, get used to living in Manchester, get used to living in the country, new language, new league, new everything, new culture. But if you sign them when they're 18, then you give them a chance to, by the time they're 19, 20, they're really, okay, I'm a bit more settled now. And then you sign more established, ready-made, and that's what the Premier League proven signings can do. You spend your big money on them, and then I suppose you take your gambles on the younger players like this. It's not as clean cut as that. There's obviously going to be players in between, like your Mazraoui type signings. You're going to need those too. It's just different types of signings that all have to blend together. But I think if they're going to sign a midfielder in January, I think they're going to the Prem. I really do. I think we'll go after, but right as it stands, I think we're going to go after Baleba. As it stands. We'll see. Siraj saying, Ineos' United strategy is signing up-and-coming talents, developing them to build a squad, team, and sell. It's called building a sustainable bloody transfer policy. Our club has had such an unsustainable transfer strategy for so long because it's not really been a strategy. It's just kind of listening to the manager. Who do you want? Oh, let's go and get him. Can't get him? Balls. We'll panic. We'll sign Casemiro and Anthony instead. We just wasted so much. We have to cut the waste. That's what Ineos did last year. All the cuts were ugly, but we cut the waste because we had to. You might not have liked a lot of it, but a lot of it was necessary. Not all of it was necessary. I'm not saying that. I'm not here agreeing with every single decision that Ineos have made because I think they've made plenty of bad ones, especially when it comes to match-going fans and sort of tainting that relationship. I think they've underestimated the impact that can have. But a lot of them are necessary. So we cut the waste there. Now we need to cut the waste with transfers and also be more successful, make some more profits on players. Like you look at Chelsea, and I hate the bloody club, but it still staggers me how much they managed to even, was it Vigo? Can't remember his name. Like one of the defenders who hardly bloody played for them. And then they sold for like a massive profit. Was it Atletico Madrid? Can't remember where it was. But it's so many. There's so many. Pyro saying, morning Sam, just at the gym listening to your show. What you doing, Pyro? Stairmaster? A little bit of uphill on the treadmill. 15 degrees. Got to hold on then. Random. Enjoy yourself. Get a sweat on. Gus is saying the problem is not the young talents, but development as well. As you can see, apart from Manu Garnacho, no youngster could fit and stay in the men's team. Yeah, Renato Vega. That's him. Yeah, I don't think United have been particularly great at massively developing players overall. I think I saw Steve did a video on that recently. If you look at Lenny Yoro, I would say, well, there's an example of a player who has massively developed in the same environment. So it's a little bit of both. Villarreal, that's where he sold into. Let's speak about Brentford, all right? Early kickoff tomorrow. Let me get a poll up. What's your prediction? I'll get my video out for lunchtime as always. I'll try and get it out for 12 o'clock today because it is an early kickoff, so it's going to be getting off by 12:30 tomorrow. Brentford win, draw, or United win. Get your votes in. Right, let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. Fran, the parcel is on its way. It's arrived at the PO box, and they're going to forward it on to me now. So it has arrived there. So anybody, you can see the pinned message in the chat. If you'd like to send anything in to fill this wall up or fill this shelf up with your stuff, community things, and maybe things that mean something to you or something that you'd love to have on display, that's what I want. I want this whole thing to be like the big community wall. If you've got an A2 piece of art that you think is wicked, send it in. I can fill one of the frames with it. If you've got a shirt, send it in. I can get it hung up. If you've got something you want to put on the shelf, or if you've got something you want to pin onto the corkboard up there, send it all in. I'd love for this to really become like just your wall. Within reason, all right? Not putting up nudes up there. But I'm looking forward to it really, really getting properly filled up with stuff that you send in. And you're saying, predicting Brentford are going to need a Costco-sized tub of Vaseline because they're getting pumped. Thanks, mate, for making me read that out. Anyway, I need to go Costco again. When's the best time to go Costco? I went like a Thursday afternoon once thinking it was going to be quiet. It was not quiet. It was hell. It was hell in there. Toby, thank you very much all week, man. You gifted 5 memberships again. All of you, make sure you join the Discord and link your YouTube account to the Discord, and you automatically get added into the members-only chat in there, all right? We need points on the board, says Yeager. Albin saying, I've got a Sancho shirt you can burn. I just find it a bit of a weird flex. Why does anybody burn a shirt? Genuine. Like, why does anyone burn a shirt? Proper odd behaviour. It's like booing. I think booing's weird. But burning shirts is weirder. Thank you very much, Fizz, as well, for gifting 5 memberships. Tiskin saying, can I send my gym shirt shot? Really means a lot to me. You should probably keep that and wear it to the gym. I'm not Tiskin. I'm not saying you need to go to the gym or anything, mate. But probably not the best thing for the studio. Right. Let's speak about the game. I'll leave the poll up for the rest of the show, but we've got 500 votes in the first 2 minutes. And we've got 85% of you are saying a United win. Well, don't sit on the fence or anything. Right? Don't sit on the fence. And we will get a UPTV group photo when we do the live shows a little bit later, hopefully this year. We're working on that in the background as well. We're speaking to a couple of different venues. We're trying to get prices. So the work's happening in the background for the live events. And I'll tell you, again, just all these things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't know about, that you might think I'm just lying, but I'm not, I promise. Working with Jimmy. Big up, Jim. Head of community. So we're working on the live shows. That's going to be first. And after we do the first live show and we make a success of it, we're then going to start organising the global meetups. So if you're in South Africa, could we do a meetup there? Or if you're in New York, or if you're in America, or if you're in Denmark, or if you're in Switzerland, I don't know. Could we help all of you guys and girls who are all members of the community? Could we help you meet up with other United People's TV members from your local areas, and you can make some friends off the back of it? That's what I would love to do. And then I'll hopefully will be in a position where I can travel and come to some of those global meetups around the world. And maybe we can organise it with, I don't know, Cal, who reached out. He's a Discord mod. I think he was in Atalanta. He was saying, are you coming out for the game that's happening? I couldn't quite go. I'd love to do that, but because it's just me, I couldn't go to the pre-season. But going up, meeting with the supporters club out there, that's what I'd love to do eventually. And that's what I really, really want to do. Spend a year going around and meeting different localized community groups from the United People's community, and we watch a game together. How cool would that be? I think it's possible. That's what I want to do. But first, we've got to do a live show in the UK. And I told you, it's not going to be a show. It's not going to be a show on stage. We're going to basically rent a pub out, do a little podcast on stage, watch a game together, have a few beers, do a match reaction, just watch a game. That's all we want to do. Anyway, let's speak about this man, right? First stop, New Zealand. I bloody wish. A long old journey. Lammens, right? So much conversation about this lad. I think I spoke about that's a random one. Andy saying you got programs from the early 80s from Romanian clubs, but all against United. I got them from some friends here in Berlin. That's cool as hell. Any stuff like that that can fill the shelves up, man. I think it'll be, I don't know. There's so much more that we can do over here. And remember, we've got this space behind me too. I took the little head off the chair now. You can actually see a bit more. It's nicer. It's nicer. Anyway, Senny, right? Will he be starting? Type yes or no. Do you think he starts against Brentford? This is from Simon Stone from the BBC. Senny Lammens has impressed in training, and the overall view of him at United is a positive one. He's described as having a calm presence, being mature for his age, and taking his new surroundings in stride. Good news. Don't really care about any of that. Just want to know whether he's going to start. I'm guessing you might. I mean, you might have confirmation from Ruben Amorim, whether he will or won't. I don't know why he would. I think if I was Ruben Amorim, I'd keep that close to my chest. I'll tell you what, like, if I'm looking down there in the poll, because we've got one poll up, can't do another one, it's actually more split than I thought it would be. Or maybe it's just your predictions. Quite a few. I'd say it's, arguably, it's about 60-40 saying no. Now, I think you know what I've already said this week. My genuine preference is to get him in for his debut at home against Sunderland. Now, Brentford, we know how Brentford are going to play. They're going to be physical. They're going to be probably set-piece heavy, especially how they're playing this season. 17th? They've had a crap start to the season. And when you're in those sorts of positions, I mean, you're not exactly playing free-flowing football, and set-pieces can almost become double important for you. He could start tomorrow. But if I've waited for Senny to make his debut for this long, then I'm fine waiting one more game, and I'm fine for his debut to come at home against a newly promoted team in Sunderland. Now, Sunderland have actually started quite well. So, I'd rather like play Wolves at home instead of Sunderland right now. He could start, but I'm not desperate for him to start, if you know what I mean. Like, when I saw Bayindir against Chelsea, I was like, but he played all right. Bayindir's distribution's all right. It's just that he's a bit like Onana. He's just kind of, it doesn't really matter how well he's playing. You can't ever really feel too settled with him because you're sitting there going, just don't. Oh, he has a catastrophic mistake in his locker. So let me see what you're saying down here. Someone's saying too much pressure at home. I think definitely at Brentford. Slow and steady wins the race. He's a long-term signing. Get him in now so he has a couple of games for Anfield. The only chance he's got of starting at Anfield is if he plays these next two games. And even then, I mean, I don't know. Anthony's saying, aren't we rushing by hoping he starts games? I mean, not necessarily. I wouldn't say we're rushing. I don't think there's like a massive clamour and desperation for him to start. I think there was a few games ago, but Amorim stuck with Bayindir, and Bayindir's actually had two decent enough games since, so it kind of goes down a little bit. It's kind of what it is with United fans. Like, from a week-to-week basis, we all know this. Like, we live in the land of extremes as fans now. I just think it's because patience has kind of run out among a lot of United fans. Understandably so. We finished 15th last year, and we've had a pretty naff start to this year. Jason, right? That was, I'm not going to mention that, but that was a parody quote that was pulled up, and someone ran with it, and someone else was, do your research, people. In terms of what Senny Lammens' nickname is. Unbelievable, Jeff. But peak internet, I would call that. Real recognises real, saying Bayindir's sketchy at set pieces. I reckon we want Lammens in for Brentford. Honestly, when I was looking at him, we were doing the research on him, I would say that one of the weaknesses that we saw was the confidence in coming for crosses. We didn't know whether it was, and this is something we won't know, it's kind of what we said in the profile, we don't know whether that lack of confidence is a confidence thing or whether it's a technique thing, because physically, he's got all the attributes. He's bloody massive. He's like 6'4". He's agile. He's not De Gea, because De Gea was De Gea, but He moves a lot quicker than Bayindir and Onana does or will in terms of getting down to his right. He's a very good shot stopper. But I don't know. If it was me and it was my choice, I'd probably keep Bayindir in for this game and give him his debut against Sunderland. But we'll find out. Something I do want to see. Oh, please both start. Please both be completely fit. Cunha definitely didn't look 100% fit against Chelsea, did he? Well, he only came on for like 20-odd minutes. It's not as if he looked unfit. But I don't think he would have been fine to start the game. These two, I hope, are fit to start against Brentford. And not just those. Brighton and Booms as well. All three of them, right? These three right here. Oh, no, I've got the new one. That's the latest mag. I haven't actually read that yet. Any good bits? What have we got going on? A little bit on United's finances. You ever used to do book reading sessions at school? I used to be pretty good at reading. I say I used to be. I'm pretty good at reading. I used to read the Harry Potter books out to the kids when I was in like year 4. Year 4? Year 5. 1 and 2. I remember sitting at the front of the class reading them out. Oh, no, there's Luke Chadwick. Remember Luke Chadwick? Look how happy he is. Doesn't he own like some sort of like tea, like a coffee shop or something down the south coast? I remember. Anyway, the reason I was putting that up was this. These three. We haven't seen all three of them start yet. Yeah, Johnny, I mean, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong, Johnny. Let's speak about this man. How buzzing will he be to start this game? We'll speak about him. We'll speak about Cunha and Shesko in a little bit, right? How buzzing will Mbeumo be to start this game? He didn't leave Brentford on any bad note. I don't think there's going to be any boos from Brentford fans. I actually think he did right by them. He just sat there, patiently waited, was professional, turned up to training, never a bad word, never a peep in the press. It took a long time. But from a professional perspective, I don't think there was any complaints about how the transfer went down. And he will want to go back and I don't know. What do you think his feeling is going to be going there? I should never have pulled this up. JC, you can see you down there gifted 20 memberships, man. You're absolute legend. Lovely to see you again. But yeah, I really shouldn't have pulled that one up, should I? But Mbeumo. Yeah, what do you think his mindset is going to be going into this game? It's not as if he wants to get revenge on Brentford, but he'll want to. He won't. What's he going to be? What's he going to be driven by? He won't want to go there and go, I need to remind Brentford fans how good I am. I think he'll just enjoy going back. Anxious and confident and eager to do well. Should get a good reception. Got him to score first, says Johnny. If he scores, they will not be very happy. Hopefully he scores plenty. I'll take a hat-trick. I'll take a hat-trick from Mbeumo and then one each from Shesko and Cunha. I'm not fussy. All right? I'm not greedy. I'm only asking for 5 goals. I'm only asking for 5. One ton saying Brian has been professional. I wish all transfers could be like him. Yeah. I suppose he'll feel like he's got a point to prove. Like X amount was spent on him. So it won't be like I need to remind people driving him. It's like, yeah, I want to show my worth, I suppose. And these two, right? These two. Come on. Can we, for the love of God, right, get the ball into this lad? And I'm probably going to be looking at you. Swing those crosses in, man. Swing them in. Get to the byline on the right-hand side, cut it back, edge of the box. Shesko making the late run, in swinging cross. Don't need anything spectacular like that. Little glancing header, boom. Feed him. He's not getting enough chances. We know that, and this has been a problem at United for like God knows how long. Actually feeding the striker. Like as much as you could complain about Højlund last season, I think a lot of my frustrations with Højlund was that every time the ball went up to him, and you want your striker to like hold off the defender, bring others into play, spin off, and then go in, like 8 times out of 10, he'd lose the ball. He wouldn't be able to spin off because he'd lose possession. He'd have to start again. That's not going to be happening with Shesko. He's going to be able to do that far better than Højlund was, but just get the ball into him, right? Get the ball into him. Clinton is saying, I'm losing my mind with the crosses. I've repeated this a million times. Literally the most successful crosser in the Premier League last season against somebody who's 6'5" and jumps like an NBA player. I wonder what we should do. Yeah. Swing him in. It's just a big weapon that we've got now. You've got to play to your strengths. I'm not saying that we should go full David Moyes 80-plus crosses a game and not do anything else. But we should certainly look for him more. And he's got the pace. And he's got the positioning as well. Dorgu with the in-swingers. And Mbeumo cutting back to the outside with the curved ones to the back post. The ones that almost, if you hit the cross perfectly, could go in if no one touches it. And let me see what we're saying down here. If they don't pass to Shesko, they should be dropped. That's what Fergie would do. Yeah, well, I wouldn't really say that. That's a bit weird. I'm not saying gear the entire game towards him, but you've got your target, man. Use him. Play. Every team needs a focal point. I mean, it's a bit obvious, isn't it? But every team does need a focal point. Cutbacks to the edge of the area, they do bring goals. But we've now got someone who can get on the end of an early cross, who can get on the end of any cross. So we don't have to be as predictable and just chasing the cutbacks. Dorgu's got to do better with that. So is Brian Mbeumo. So is Ahmad. So is everybody. Everybody needs to find him more. It's not just one individual. And yeah, Cunha, I hope he's fit to start. And I hope it's Cunha on the left and Mbeumo on the right and Shesko through the middle. And it'll be the first time that we've seen them. John, you're saying problem is hitting the target. Well, yeah, you know United's conversion rate. What is it? 17th in the league, I think, conversion rate. Might even be less than that. Don't actually know. But Brentford is 17th right now. We've got to go at them aggressively and confidently. And you're saying it's too one-dimensional. Are we forgetting he's got a rocket of a foot? Not really. I'm not saying it's one-dimensional. I'm not saying just... That's my point. I'm not saying just firing crosses and nothing else. Cutbacks are still there. He has got a rocket of a foot. He has got a shot. There will be transitions where if you get him, he won't be afraid to take a shot from 20, 30 yards. He won't need to just get in the box and get 5 yards away before trying to have a shot. But use crosses more. Win the second balls from crosses. And you'll probably score loads of goals. Cross comes in, it gets headed down. Who's it get headed down to? Cunha, who's right there to sweep it home from 7 yards. Who are we playing next to Bruno? Well, that's kind of the question that we keep asking ourselves, right? Not Shesko. Maybe Cobby. I don't really think that'll ever happen, for being honest. People will go, and I know this, people will point towards the fact that Cobby has played number 6 for a fair amount when he was younger. He also made, was his debut as at number 6 against Everton, and he has played number 6 for United for a few times. And he played there kind of deeper behind Rice for England. He can play there, but it's just not fundamentally where his strongest assets are. But again, we're talking about players who... we're talking about players who, like we said about how Mbeumo has carried himself, right? Really professional. I think I'd say the same thing about Cobby, right? I've not heard anything from... Have you? Maybe I'm blind to it. I don't know. But I haven't really heard anything bad in the press from Cobby's perspective in terms of him being angry and upset. And like, he obviously wants to play more. I mean, that's an absolute given. He's not playing enough. So, of course, he wants to play more. But I haven't really heard anything in terms of... And look, the contract is... I think what you're seeing now probably gives justification as to why Cobby's not signed that contract yet. If you're Cobby, you need more confirmation. It's impossible to get guarantees in football, right? And even if you do get a guarantee in football from a manager, there's no guarantee that manager's going to be here in 3 months' time. So that's what I mean. Guarantees don't exist. So you have to work a lot on trust in football and managers' trust. And right now, Cobby's not high enough in Amorim's estimations to start every game. Now, remember that Casemiro suspended for Brentford. One game. He'll miss that because of Chelsea. So pretty much, what would you say? It's a straight choice between Ugarte and Mainoo? Again, I think if you're looking at a team like Brentford and where they are right now, where their confidence is, do I really think that we need an Ugarte type player in that midfield? Do I have fears that we're going to get massively overrun? It's like famous last word, Sam. Well done, you nailed that. But going into the game, this would be a game where I want United to try and be on the front foot. You know, you go into games like City, maybe even a game against Chelsea, and you kind of expect us to kind of soak up a little bit more, just in the where we are as a club, as a team, and maybe hit on a little bit more transitional directness. I don't really look at that Brentford game and think that. No, Mason Mount's a number 6. Now you're talking crazy. Now you're playing FIFA and you're 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go and you're just going to throw everybody on. I'll put Mason Mount down there, put him left, put bloody Ahmad left wing back. It's just no Mount in number 6. But Mainoo, I think I'd probably predict that Ugarte would start. And I know that Cobby's future at this club or any club is not going to be in the number 6. It's just, you can talk about where he might fit in right now. You can talk about where he can improve. It's not going to be as a number 6. Cobby's future and long-term career will be in the number 8 role. One of those roaming central midfielders. That is his role. We'll see, right? We'll see. Delo is back in training. In fact, let me just read a couple of your comments out down here before I move on. We need someone in midfield who can tackle, full stop. Mainoo and Ugarte look really solid in pre-season. Dare I say it, rest Bruno and give the two a chance against a struggling team. You're not going to get Bruno rested. The only way that Bruno plays himself out of the team is his form. And his form was awful at the start of the season, and he didn't play him out of the team. Now, you can argue as long as you want about favouritism and this and that, but Bruno is Amorim's captain. And I think he sees so much more in him than just a player. Hence why he treats him differently. Bruno will start this game. It's who starts alongside him. Bruno will start next week against Sunderland. Bruno will start away at Anfield. Because your captain invariably starts. That's just a bit of the truth. Someone down there saying you think Delo might start left wing back instead of Dorgu. That immediately gives me a migraine thinking about Delo playing left wing back. Reason it gives me a migraine is because it probably might happen. But Delo left wing back hurts my soul. Really does, man. And people are complaining about Dorgu. Yeah, the end product isn't there. But man, he's forward thinking. He's got a good engine. He's got great fitness. He's got great athleticism. He gets back into shape. I'm not really seeing him massively out of position. Not saying he's perfect and he's still got to learn on that. But I'm keeping Dorgu in at left wing back. Don't really know why I'm changing that. Yeah, sure, the final balls aren't there. But the only way that comes is with improvement, with working on the training ground, with practicing your deliveries. And we go into games and nailing them. And as soon as you nail it in the game, you go, I've got it now. Yeah, cool. Only thing that can change that is hard work and practice and doing it on the pitch. Dad's saying it's sad that we have no wing-backs. I mean, that's just a bit extreme. Again, I mean, Dorgu quite literally, well, actually, if you look at the position where he played most for Lecce, he was actually right wing. He is a wing-back. Ahmad is not a wing-back naturally. But so many of the best wing-backs, modern wing-backs, are those who have been converted from wingers into wing-backs. Wasn't Nuno Mendes one of those as well? Who's probably the best wing-back in the world right now. Is he a wing-back? Is he just a straight-up full-back? Yeah. He would definitely work as a wing-back if he's not. I hope he doesn't start. I hope it's Dorgu on the left. You could see Delo or Mazraoui on the right-hand side instead of Ahmed. But again, I'm looking at this Brentford team. I'm looking at where they are. I'm looking at how their season's gone. I know our season's not been great, but Brentford will be going into this game far more nervous than we are. So I don't really think you need to play a fullback at wingback. Random question here, right? What's your take on Xerxes not really playing much this season? Menno, it's funny you just said that. Well, literally the next talking point I want to speak about. He was used. What's he done? He's come off the bench a few times. It was Xerxes' header onto Delo, and then Delo crossed into Mbeumo for his goal against Burnley. So he has had some minutes, but not particularly much. I'm not surprised about that. I don't see Xerxes as a starter for Manchester United currently. But I do think he's a very good player to bring off the bench. And I don't mean that as a slight against him. It's just that's the way I see his position in the team. Glenn, you're saying he needs more minutes. Siegs, you're saying I want to see more of him. If he wasn't injured, I would have sold him. He's useless, says Dad. Well, you're full of beans this morning, you are, mate. No, I wouldn't have sold Xerxes this summer. I like Xerxes. I think Xerxes has a pretty decent profile, and I think he can add a strength into one of those number 10 roles at certain points in the game. But do I see him being here in the long term? Probably not. Because by his own admission, he's a 9.5. He's not quite a number 9. He's not quite a number 10. So therefore, he can't be a specialist in either one of those roles. And when you've quite literally just signed a specialist number 9 and you've signed 2 specialist number 10s, then you're going to be behind them in the pecking order. By your own admission of being kind of an in-betweener. I think across the course of the season, I think he'll be an impactful sub. And I don't particularly see that really changing across the course of the season. Jason is saying definitely better than Mount. I disagree with that so far this season. I think Mount's been pretty damn impressive. Especially with adding to the press. Creating chances, creating problems, not making it as easy for other teams to play out from the back with the ball. Mount's been a really good link-up player. That's what I would say. Mount's been an enabler to other players around him. And teams need that. It's not all about just the stars. It's about enablers too. Combo those, and you got yourself a team. Let me go back to the poll. Again, everyone's sitting on the fence here. We've got 1,500 votes are in, and 86% of you are saying United win. Man, I hope 86% of you are right. If we do win, it will put an end to the single worst stat from the Amorim era so far. We've not won consecutive Premier League games. Like, you wonder why United fans are so yo-yo. We've not won 2 bloody league games in a row since November last year. Mate, if your Sunday league team had that record, your WhatsApp group would be popping. It would be fuming. Let alone being United. So get the job done against Brentford. When we've gone to Brentford in previous years, and this is the little part of me that kind of triggers a little bit. I'm now worried about being complacent because when we've gone to Brentford the last few years, I've been a lot more worried than I am going into this game on Saturday. Brentford who left Brentford this summer? They lost Thomas Frank. They lost their goalkeeper. They lost their best player in Mbeumo. They lost their main striker in Visser. Anyone else leave? They signed Jordan bloody Henderson. Brentford are a bit wounded right now. They've not had a good summer. Their team's kind of got picked apart a bit, and their manager's left. Now, Keith Andrews, I think, has done an okay job since coming. I don't think it was a particularly easy job for him to do. But the time is right, man, to go to Brentford with far more confidence than we had. Norgard's left as well. Yep. See what I mean? Like, their team's kind of been picked apart. Their captain's gone. Their best players are gone. Their managers are gone. Their goalkeeper's gone. It's no wonder that they're struggling. Take advantage of that, United. The amount of teams that take advantages of our weaknesses. Bloody take advantage of theirs. Xerxes should start for Mount. Keep him because we'll need depth if we make Europe. Hold on here, mate. We got a whole season to go with no football, no European football. Someone down there at the Mangy saying, I'm worried we're going to lose the intensity and fight. Big reason we won against Chelsea simply was the aggression. Of course, the bloody red card after 4 minutes, but how did we create that red card? By how intense we were playing. If we had just like ambled out from the back, just passing it around, just hold the ball, keep it easy. Chelsea wouldn't have been panicked at any point. Sanchez wouldn't have come steaming out of his goal. We squeezed and we forced that red card. I'm not saying that we're going to get another red card against Brentford, far from it, but squeezed them. Typically, I'd always want United to go away from home, first 15 minutes, don't concede. I don't think United need to be as polite in this game. Play it like we did against Fulham for the first 15 minutes. Man, should have scored at least one in that opening first 15 there. We should have scored against Fulham. We didn't. And kind of know what happened after that. Get the early goal. It made the difference at Old Trafford, and it will make the difference in every single game we play. I think these players, more than any other team I can look at in the Premier League, are affected when they don't score. Like the game state really gets up there. They've had like 5, 6, 7 chances and not scored enough. They get frustrated. They start thinking about this. They start thinking about everything a bit more. Get the early goal. Everyone settles a bit. We need to be 1-0 up for players to go, all right, okay, we can play ball now. So yeah, polls in. 85% of you think we're going to win. I hope 85% of you are right. What are you saying down here? Dwayne is saying Mount is really good, but needs to be more careful. He picks yellow he gets a yellow card too easily. So does Casemiro. So do a lot of United players, I suppose. Every team reckons they have a chance against United and get rattled easily. Every team does have a chance against United. That's the thing. Only way you change that mentality is by not being crap. Only way you do that is if you win, I don't know, let's start with consecutive Premier League games in a row. Someone down there saying United should win this game 5-0, 5-1. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be happening. What's the most we scored in the game this season? 3? Against Burnley? You know how many chances we've been creating. You know how many chances we haven't been taking. I dream tomorrow. 3 goals. 1 for Shesho, 1 for Cunha, 1 for Mbeumo. And a win. That's what I'd love to see. Whether we do see it, I don't quite know. But look, we all know what day it is today. Yeah, it's Friday. Is this working yet? Let's have a look. Nope, still bloody broken. I'm hoping a reset will fix that. But let me know where you're watching from. Both the city and the country. We'll get 3 or 4 of you added onto the map. And let's go. Someone down there got beat up. It's an unfortunate username. Do you automatically miss the next game after a red card? Or is that only a straight red? No. If you get 2 yellows and it's a red, 1 game ban. If you get straight red, I think it actually still is a 1 game ban. Unless it's like violent conduct. If it's a really bad tackle or it's like serious foul play, serious misconduct, sure there's other like different rules and regulations. But that's how you can get a 3 game ban. Right, who we got? We've got Steve watching from Braunton in England. The King's country. Well, Devon actually. Not really. It's far, isn't it? Far away. We got who else we got down here? We've got Benjamin watching from Patuj in Slovenia. How do you say that? Or just Tuj? Probably just Tuj. I imagine the P silent. Man, I loved Slovenia when I was there. Didn't go to Lake Bled, but went to one near it. No, I went to Lake Bled as well, actually, but I went to one near it. Bohinj? Is that what it was called? Man, that was awesome. Kind of parked the car on the side of the road, walked through the forest and just found a little entrance to the lake where there was no one. It was awesome. Got a parking ticket, though. That was annoying. So it wasn't perfect. We've got Joel watching from Wellington in New Zealand. Wellington. Williams, wish Wellington. If anybody is old enough and from the UK, you'll know exactly what I was singing there. What a show. Random. Right, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you very much, everyone, for firing in where you're watching from. And I'm telling you, when we do these global meetups, I hope you all tune in. I hope you all join in. Please don't make me go around the world on my own. That'll be awkward. But look, plan of attack for today. Lunchtime videos going out at lunchtime. It's going to be the Brentford preview. Tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff. I'll be here with a match reaction straight after. Sunday, it's going to be what we learned from the Brentford game. Monday, we'll be back here. All right? So have a cracking weekend. Enjoy yourself. Please don't ruin it, United. Come on. Be nice to me. All right? Much love. And if you are new, please do consider subscribing. I'll see you soon. Take it easy.